If my house is dirty, that's not just an external mess. It's a mirror, a reflection of my internal state. When things around me are in chaos, when the clutter piles up, it's never just about dishes or laundry. It's about what's going on inside, the mental disorder, the lack of structure, the neglect I'm showing to myself. And that's the truth most people don't want to face. Your external world reflects your inner world. Every unwashed plate, every discarded piece of clothing on the floor, every light bulb left unfixed. That's a message, a signal. It screams louder than any motivational quote. It says, "This man is drifting." If the bathroom's a wreck, if the bed's unmade, if the car's full of trash, look deeper. That's not laziness. That's a man slipping. That's a man letting the disciplines that build self-respect fall by the wayside. That's where you catch the cracks before they split the whole damn foundation. Because those messes aren't just visual clutter. They're the residue of lost focus, decaying drive, and neglected purpose. See, when everything around me is in order, when my space is clean, my routines are tight, my habits are sharp, that's not about being tidy. That's a sign that internally, I'm aligned, I'm locked in, I'm disciplined, I'm on mission. Because how I do anything is how I do everything. That phrase isn't just a cliche. It's a code. You cut corners on the little things. You'll cut corners on the big ones. You break your promise to yourself over the smallest tasks. You'll compromise when it counts. The little things expose your ceiling, and the brutal truth is, if you won't win in your own room, you won't win in the world. You want to be great in the arena? Start by making your damn bed. You want to dominate life? Sweep your floor. Organize your thoughts by organizing your room. Show me a man's environment, and I'll show you his priorities. You want order outside? It starts with war on the inside, and when that inner war is won, the chaos outside begins to bow. The universe responds to order, and you can't command respect from the world if you're operating in personal chaos. Accountability starts with the smallest decisions. I'll be walking out the door, about to conquer something big, and I'll catch myself. Did I make that bed? And if I didn't, I turn around. Not because the bed matters, but because the standard does. Because if I break that promise to myself in the small things, I'm building a pattern. And those patterns are what shape the trajectory of your life. If you fold when it's easy, you'll collapse when it's hard. The universe watches. It responds. It doesn't just reward dreams and ambition. It rewards consistency. It blesses those who honor their commitments, especially the ones they make in silence, when no one's watching. You think blessings come randomly? You think greatness is a gift? Nah. Blessings are triggered by behavior, by alignment, by ritual, by choosing structure over chaos, order over impulse, discipline over comfort. When you uphold your end, the universe upholds its end. That's not superstition. That's spiritual math. You miss blessings when you slack on standards, when you cut corners, when you start saying good enough instead of what's required. That's when the shift happens. That's when your internal compass gets off track and life stops working. Because the universe doesn't honor half-heartedness. It governs all events through discipline and truth. If your world isn't cooperating with your desires, maybe it's because your behavior isn't cooperating with your own code. This is habit. This is code. I honor the promises I make to myself, and in doing so, I strengthen my spirit. Every choice is a vote for the man I'm becoming, and every broken promise is a brick in the wall I'll eventually have to tear down, so I don't let them pile up. Discipline equals self-restraint. Self-restraint equals self-respect. Self-respect equals self-confidence. That's the formula. And that's why when I walk into a room, I'm lit. I don't need applause. I don't need approval. I don't need validation. I'm high off me. I'm running on the power that comes from keeping my word to myself. That internal certainty can't be bought. It can't be faked. You either earned it or you didn't. And when you did, it shows. Not in your words, in your presence, in your posture, in the quiet power that follows a man who walks with integrity, even when no one's clapping. The man who built himself from the ground up is dangerous, not because he's perfect, but because he knows his foundation is real. And that starts at home. That starts with the small daily choices. That starts with how you keep your room, your car, your calendar, your time. Clean house, clear mind, strong presence. And I'm just getting started. See, once you've accepted that the outer world mirrors the inner world, it's no longer about cleaning for aesthetics. It's about establishing dominion. You don't just make your bed, you reinforce your authority. You don't just scrub your kitchen, you confront disorder with action. Every time you reset your environment, you're resetting your standard. You're reclaiming your power. And power isn't about force, it's about order. That's why your space matters. That's why your rituals matter. That's why your word to yourself matters. Because every single task, no matter how mundane, carries with it the energy of intention. And that energy is either pulling you closer to your vision or pushing you away from it. The man who can't maintain order in his own space will never sustain greatness outside of it. Because success doesn't start on stage. It starts in silence. It starts in your routines, in your self-talk, in your unseen victories. You think anyone wakes up disciplined by default? No. Discipline is a forged weapon, hammered by repetition, sharpened by failure, and carried by purpose. Every day, you have a chance to win the battle before the world even touches you. You think that bed doesn't matter, that floor doesn't matter, that promise you made to yourself to hit the gym, eat clean, meditate, or read. That's where you sharpen your sword. That's where you train your mind to follow through. That's where you harden your resolve against the mediocrity waiting outside. You don't build confidence by shouting affirmations. You build confidence by witnessing yourself follow through. You said you'd wake up early. You did. You said you'd stay off your phone first thing. You did. You said you'd clean your space. You did. That's self-trust. That's the currency of real self-respect. And self-respect is the backbone of presence. So when a man walks into a room and he commands attention without saying a word, it's not charisma. It's not a trick. It's the weight of internal alignment. That man has seen himself struggle and push through. That man honors his word, even in private. That man doesn't fake strength. He lives it. And the beauty is, it's accessible to any man, right now. No mentor needed, no course, no hype, just decision. Decide to never again betray yourself. Decide to treat your environment like sacred ground. Decide to enforce a standard so high that mediocrity can't breathe in your presence. Because when your space is clean, your habits are tight, and your word is law, you become a force. And that force isn't loud. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need recognition. It just moves, silently, relentlessly, unapologetically. Clean house, clear mind, strong presence. That's the way. That's the code. That's the life. You want power? Start sweeping. Start showing up. Start honoring the man in the mirror. Because that man's either your greatest ally or your first enemy. And how you treat your space tells the truth. Every time.